So I think I like this setup the best. He's got the one hand and then the...
filming a video?
Yeah, come in here. Check it out.
What did you buy now? A walking piece of
All right, guys, it's big statue time again on the channel. Today we are opening up the largest quarter scale statue that I've ever unboxed. So this is a single character. It was built as being a quarter scale statue. However, it is as big as 1/3 scale. This thing is enormous. It came in 2 giant boxes. This one weighs almost 70 pounds. This one is closer to 20 something. This one here is a lot easier to move. So I'm gonna start with this one since it's already on the table. So you can see Gotham City Pictures. So we got a hand. All right, we got a claw hand, another claw hand, block hand. These are all the little hands that come off of him. Some green ooze, another forearm and hand, another one, a red fire hydrant, just a little hand. We got some pieces here, I guess, for the shutoffs, for the pipes and the sewers. Here we have a giant mace hand. Here's the other one, looks even bigger. I think I'm gonna put this on the ground so I can have more room on the table. All right, and here it is. Oh, this is heavy. There's a little piece here. I see that broke off. Looks like a little piece of dripping clay broke off. So there it is underneath. This is number 38 out of 70. And that's gonna do it for box number 1. So this guy comes pretty much all intact except for his hands. This guy's one big piece of mud. And that's pretty much everything that came in this second box. All right, guys, I got all the pieces out here. There are a lot of giant pieces. I'm gonna have to move everything to the side so we can get our turntable on the table. And then we'll get this thing assembled. Okay, we got the base here. I will glue this part on a little later. Let's go ahead and stick the big boy up here. Oh. It's got one giant key and peg. All right, slides right into place. There's a little space for his feet on the base. Let's just give him the claw hands to begin with. Should go in like that. This hand goes in like this. His hand doesn't even fit on the screen. But then we have these little arms that come off of him. Okay, little hand goes here. Okay, little hand goes down here. We got a piece here on his back. Here, one part keys into the thigh. Goes right here. Maybe this goes right next to it. It's kind of gushing out of the broken fire hydrant. Okay, guys, here's a look all the way around. Clayface. All right, guys, here he is, Dirt Man. This thing is pretty incredible. I mean, the size, the details are insane. Down here, we have another sewer-themed base, very similar to the Killer Croc statue that came from the same group. So we've got all this green sewage. I guess it's supposed to be water because it's coming out of the fire hydrant as well, but it does have that green tinge to it, so it's definitely not water you want to be drinking, but very smooth, almost glassy feel to it. We have all these little pipes with the little shutoff valves. It almost looks like a little prison down here. The base is kind of hollow, and then we have these little pipes that are sort of like jail bars. We also have all this little dirt or clay kind of dripping down. They did a very nice job with all the broken up concrete. We have a Gotham City manhole cover there. The fire hydrant as well as the gushing water does add a nice pop of color. Without it, it would just be a gray and brown statue. Then we're moving up to the big guy. We can see all the clay texture. Just looks like a mound of dirt. All the clay is oozing, kind of forming the shape of muscles. We can clearly see some defined calves, quads, hamstrings. We even have a little clay gluteus maximus back there. But I thought that was very clever how they did that, where the oozing clay actually looks like muscle striations or fibers. Intertwined with all of that, we have all these little faces. It kind of reminds me of the scene in one of those Nightmare on Elm Street movies where all of Freddy's victims are kind of stretching out of his body. That scene kind of gave me nightmares for months after I saw it as a kid. This kind of has that same effect where all these tortured souls are kind of engulfed in all this ooze and dirt. Very cool, very dynamic in the way the faces are screaming. The hands are kind of reaching out towards the heavens or kind of ripping away at the covering clay. I really like how they did the teeth here. They have a nice glossy sheen with some nice shading. And if we look closely on Clayface's face, we can actually see he has two sets of teeth. An outer set, and then if we look inside, we see another set in there. I'm not sure if that's ooze dripping from his face or maybe just like facial muscles. Again, sort of like that horror movie look. The paint is also very lifelike. I mean, it looks like real dirt. Nice combination of lights and dark browns. Really give it that sandy clay pot color. So his feet are actually kind of blobs of clay. You don't see toes, although this guy's arm right here kind of acts like a big toe. Right now I've got the claw hands on there. They look really good. I really like these big fingernail claws. The sculpt of the anatomy of the hands and tendons. Usually I don't care for statues where the highest point is a hand or arm. Usually it works better for display options when the hands are down and not so high, but I think this one, just like the Sideshow Juggernaut statue, I think the hand up really adds to the movement of the piece. The only thing we had to connect on Clayface was his arms, or his forearms and hands. And where they meet, you do see the seam line. However, there's so much going on here. They don't really stick out all that much. The dirt is not very smooth, so the seams kind of just blend in. All right, so we got some switch outs here. We got the big block hands, and we also have the spike ball or mace Morning Star hands. So we can kind of do a mix and match where we have one of these hands and maybe one of these, or maybe one of these and one of those, or maybe two of those. I really like these hands, but let's go ahead and change this top one. Let's see if it adds to the height of the piece at all. These guys are hollow, so they're not quite as heavy as you might think they were. These are a little bit heavier. I think this option works really well just because I think his right arm is supposed to be pounding down on something. Let's go ahead and change this one out. For both the mace hands and the block hands, one of the blocks is bigger than the other. All right, so if you're looking for kind of that symmetrical look where you want to have two block hands, and it's kind of interesting because he's actually got little blocks coming out of his forearm as well, so that's kind of cool. I think I like having more of the natural hand on the bottom. This one kind of reminds me of a dumbbell workout. He almost looks like he's holding a small suitcase in this left hand here. So we got these giant mace hands. Again, I think they're hollow as well. All right, I don't even know how to get this thing on, because right now it's hitting the base. It's so big. Yeah, we might have to take it off. Am I strong enough to lift this guy with one hand? Yes, I am. All right, so we lifted him up, and let's see if it fits. So it's a tight fit with this one. It actually rests on the base, and part of it actually hits the fire hydrant right here, which I'm guessing is the way it's supposed to be. This spike is cut a little bit short for that reason, and it does add some support to the entire statue, being that this is a third point of contact. I don't know if we have to worry about that, just because the arms, like I said, aren't that heavy. I like the mace hands a lot. They definitely look like they can do a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and try this thing with the regular hand. Try this one. So now that I've tried all the hand options, I think my favorite for the left hand is definitely the more natural claw hand. And then, you know, I might switch out the right ones every now and then. What do you guys think? Should I use the block hand or should I use the mace hand? The left arm is going to be staying this one. Very well sculpted, plus it gives a little bit more of a story that he can actually transform from this into that and vice versa. I mean, this one he has fingers, he has an opposable thumb, so he can actually grab things, whereas these, it'd be very hard to grab anything. But overall, very cool statue. As far as Clayface statues go, I don't think there are many out there on the market, and I'm guessing if they do come out with a new licensed Clayface statue, it's not going to be anywhere near as detailed or huge as this guy. It's going to go nicely next to that Killer Croc. I can find a place to put either one of them. So from the ground up to the top of this hammer hand is about 35.5 inches. Looks like the mace hand is even taller with the spikes, closer to 36.25 inches tall. And that one from the floor to his top finger is just under 35. As far as the width goes, it depends on how you have this guy positioned. The little handle to the shutoff valve to the other handle on the other side. I want to say it's somewhere around maybe 16 inches, 16, 17 inches. Front to back, you have to deal with this front hand here, 19 or 20 inches possibly. So, gonna need a lot of room to display this guy. But I think it's a pretty incredible piece. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Stay tuned, we've got a lot more things to unbox here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Look, that is like disgusting. Oh, even his butt looks like poo. Looks like he had an accident all over himself. This is the ugliest statue you've ever gotten. Why would you buy this?
Masterpiece.
You better clean up after yourself. Goodbye.
It doesn't smell.